got to give Disney a little credit. I mean, like you said, like it would have been very easy for them just to sort of like just go kind of like, as George says, balls to the wall, right? And just hike that price up as high as they can and do it that way. And they didn't. And that shows a lot of, in my opinion, I think that shows a lot of constraint, and we get a lot, we give, as fans, we give Disney a lot of crap for being very expensive, and they could have gone that route and they decided not to. Hey, credit where it's due.
I suppose I just worry what happens when people get denied access to this service. What happens when people can't get this service that they may feel they desperately need. How is that going to all play out when it comes to guest relations and so forth, and the complaints are attached to the service? Now it's like, now I got to wake up at the crack of dawn just to get on it and stuff like that, which people are already not a fan of. It's really going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. From what I understand, Disney has been using this as kind of a guest recovery system where, people go into guest relations, complain about one thing or another, and Disney's all too willing to just write off their Genie Plus and Lightning Lane purchases as sort of a make good, so to speak, from whatever complication that they're experiencing, whether it's Genie Plus or not. It's just fascinating how this is all kind of taking these turns. But when you listen to the quarterly news report, or you hear about Bob Chapek talking about it, they don't allude to any of these things, and it's a total disconnect from what I'm hearing from within versus the face that they're making on the outside. But it's interesting to see kind of where this goes. I pulled up a tweet right here that I thought was very interesting and that I thought we could bring up on the show.
Sure.
Disney Glimpses. Disney Glimpses, right? Yeah, exactly. He's great stuff, folks. If you haven't been following Disney Glimpses, go ahead and follow him. He's got hot takes and all kinds of stuff. But a lot of his predictions for the future and so forth, and a lot of what he has to say, he's right more often than not. I'll give him that. I will give him that. But he says something interesting. He says 2 big unknowns regarding Genie Plus starting next month. How difficult will it be to purchase Genie Plus, which is an appropriate question for sure. And 2, what does the inventory look like? How much are they willing to, sell this service? Are we, I think the days of 50% are over, but is it 30%? Is it 25%? Is it, 35%? I think that's going to be an interesting question. What makes the best experience? If it's relatively easy to purchase before 8 a.m. and they substantially limit sales, it could be a really great experience. That's true. Because remember, more people who are on the system, it's bad for everybody. Not just for the people on the standby, but for the people on the system as well. Totally. They will likely start with a low inventory and then dial it up slowly to reach a point that they consider to be an acceptable Genie Plus experience. What that is, no one knows. Certainly significantly better than it is right now. And I think that's correct.
100% and 100%. And will there be people that are upset that they can't get on the service? Absolutely. But look, there's never going to be a perfect system. There's always going to be something, and whether it's accessibility, whether it's pricing, there's always going to be something. Like I've said it many times before, when it comes to like the pricing of like tickets and annual passes when it comes to the parks. Mm-hmm. If you price annual passes or Magic Keys, I got to stay on brand, Magic Keys. If you price them too low, mm-hmm. right, which arguably I kind of think they are too low right now, but that's a whole other can of worms.
Right.
But if you price them too low, then you have the crowding issue where it's like it's too crowded. Like once you get into the park, you can't enjoy it because everyone's there and it's too packed.
Yeah.
If you price them too high, though, then you're pricing families out, and then you're the bad guy because you're pricing people out. You become the Cartier of theme parks, and that's bad optics too. So it's a tough call, but there's always going to be that kind of like, there's never going to be a perfect system, basically what I'm saying, where it's cheap, affordable, everyone gets in, there's no crowding, there's unlimited availability, but no wait times. There's always as fans, we got to give up something. We just do.
You do.
So.
You do. It's accessibility. It's kind of like that triangle arc, right? When you're, it's like when you're remodeling a house, right? It's like, it's either going to be good, it's going to be cheap, or it's going to be fast, right? You can't have all 3 sides of the triangle. You got to pick 2, right? Well, it's similar to this, right? It's either going to be, no crowds, accessible, and or cheap. You can only have really like two, right? So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, which one do you want? Because you're going to have to break off at some point. If people, if people are okay with spending $15, then you have to have a hard cap because it's a bad experience for
Right.
everybody. And this doing it this way actually has an interesting. It could have an interesting effect on operations because now the incentive might be towards efficiency and efficient operations and all those kind of
Right.
things. We had alluded to on even Drunk 3PO's show, but in previous shows that the incentivization was a little bit perverse because
Right.
the incentive is well, maybe you want to have the most efficient ops because we want to push people towards this service. Well, if you have a hard cap and you're selling that cap at every single day, then the incentivization towards efficiency actually goes up, not down. So
Right.
this is one of those things that might actually be really, really good, even better than my solution being price, in that it might actually incentivize them to go back to the old operational style of efficiency, 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 and more accurate wait times.